For the second part of the question, it says, to the application form, add a function. Important keyword there, function. This is clearly, they want to see that we can use a function procedure over and above using sub-procedures. This is to calculate the total discount per family for each member that did not pay the full price. So, okay, and then also use exception handling. So again, we need to do some kind of validation, again, for inputs of 0 or negative values. So it will be, again, if whatever the variable is less than 1, then something will happen, else something else will happen. Okay, and then the rubric, they want to see a screenshot of the design. They want to see how we did the calculation, so we need a code snippet of that, and then the exception handling, which will be this part that will be in the code. So the way I reasoned this for how to calculate the discount is to take the amount that we would have gotten if each person paid full price. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 members. If you take the full price, 400, times 6 members, you get 2,400. But if a couple of these people had some discounts, the amount will obviously be much less than that. Like, let's say it's 1,900. So the discount will be 2,400, which is full price for each family member, minus the amount you got right at the end, which will be, let's say, for example, 1,900. So, okay, wait, first, the design of the window. So let's take a look at what I did. For the first part of the question, let's just see. Okay, so I had the 3 inputs, the button to calculate it, and the text box to show you what the total cost was in the end. But for the discount, we need to add some additional labels and inputs. So I decided to add another button to calculate the discount. I used a label and a text box for the user to enter how many members are there in the family, because you need that to determine what the amount would have been if, let's say, 5 members paid full price. And then the total discount for the family is what's displayed after we calculate the total full fees minus the total fees that was used in the end after all the discounts were subtracted. Alright, so let's look at the code. Where did I put that wrong? Right. Okay, wait, first let me give you the names of these text boxes. Okay. Add that in here. So that one was text total. This one is, oops, sorry, button discount. This text box I named text family size. Family size. And this text box I named text discount. Okay, so obviously you can name it however you want, but just for the sake of understanding what I did in my code, it's just good to keep in mind what I actually named these text boxes and buttons. Right, so we start by using a dim statement to save a variable variable called fam size, which is an integer because you can't have like half a person. So, and you get that from this text box over here, but it's an integer, so we must remember if you save something as an integer, you must always convert to integer the text box that you're getting that information from. So text family size, remember this box is called text family size, that there's the name, or what I named it. Text family size.text gives you whatever's written in this box. You have to convert it to an int so that you can save this variable as an integer. Alright, so this is the validation part. So we start off saying if fam size, the number entered in here, if fam size is less than 1, meaning it's 0 or negative, then you get a message box. And like I mentioned previously, the way you use a message box, you just type messagebox.show, and in brackets you type your message. Family size cannot be 0 or negative, and always remember to put it in inverted commas. Right, so if it's less than 1, the message box shows up. Else, if it is like 1, 2, 3, 4, then the program reads these statements. In here, I use the dim statement to save the variable family cost as a decimal, and that's the amount, the number that I got from the text total.text text box. So text total is this text box over here, and remember that was the amount that the family will have to pay after they've calculated all the discounts, you know, considering like toddlers and pensioners and all that. So that's like the discounted total price. Then we're going to use text. Oh, okay, so then we want to display the result. So text discount.text, which is this one over here. So that's where result is. So text discount.text. Use this statement to assign a number to that, or like a value. So text discount.text will be equal to, or is assigned to the value of this. And this includes a function. Sorry. All right. Oh, and also remember, okay, so this is the function, calc discount, with 2 parameters. I'll talk you through that just now. So this is going to provide or like generate a number. But to add that number into this text box, it needs to be converted to a string. So we have text discount.text is assigned a string value, so convert to string, and whatever is in brackets is the number that the program will generate. Right, so this is the part of the question that they really wanted to see, I think, is writing a function procedure. So the function procedure, I named it calc discount, and I used 2, what do you call them, like, sorry, I forgot the word, parameters. 2 parameters here. Fam is an integer, which is the amount of family members. Cost is a decimal number because it is a number, a currency type of number, so it needs 2 decimal numbers. All right, and the whole amount that we're going to get at the end of this function is going to be a decimal. So you must always remember, like a function, the name of the function, whatever the parameters are, and what the result is going to be returned as. It's going to return for us a decimal. Okay. Inside this function, so basically while we're going through this sub procedure, it's going to execute each line by itself, and then when it gets this line, as soon as it hits calc discount, which is a function, it's going to quickly jump to this function, it's going to execute that function, and then it's going to continue the rest of these lines. Right, so So it's almost as if this part is like a zoomed in version, like you zoom in on that. Sorry, this whole thing. So if you zoom in on this, you get, this is what's happening. Okay, so I'm using constant full price as decimal. So if you are saving a variable that is like always the same number, so in this case full price will always be 400. So we're going to use this const statement to save the variable, and if you're using a constant variable, you must use uppercase letters. So this is going to be a decimal, because again this is a rand value amount which has two decimal, should have 2 decimal points. And what is returned, so a function procedure must always have a return statement, because when you're doing this calculation something must be returned to tell you what is going on here. So the text discount.text is going to be assigned a string number of what, and this what is like whatever is returned in the return statement. So this is the calculation. So full price, which is 400, times the family members. So remember, this is what I said, this is the amount that you will end up with if all the family members paid full price. Let's say in this case, I think it was 2,400, minus cost. And cost is what was displayed in this text box after we calculated all the family members and the discount for each one, like toddler, pensioner, scholar, and so on. So that final amount will obviously be a little bit less because there were some discounts involved. So if you take that full price with no one getting any discounts minus cost, which I saved, where is it? I think it's in the previous section, minus cost, which is this amount over here, then you will get the total rand value that the family was saved when they entered their ages and they got their discount. Right, so this is going to return, like, let's say the total discount for the whole family, that they saved like 300 rand. So this function, calculate discount with the parameters, is saved as a decimal because it's a rand value, returns the calculation here, which will be, let's say, 300. So return 300, which means this whole section is going to be replaced with the number 300, a decimal number 300. But because we need to assign that to a text box, we need to convert it to a string. Right, and that is it, I think. So I just had some, like, here's the screenshot with my exception handling. I just showed here that I entered a -1 and the message box that popped up when I entered -1 and I tried to do a calculation. Okay. Yeah, so then I just repeated the whole exercise for the sake of showing how the program executed my calculations when I used the Chuan family, but it's basically the same. It's just using different input data to see what the output will be. Okay, so that's number 5. I'm not going to go through question number 5 because I'm not sure I got it right and I don't want to give you the wrong information. But if there's anything that I didn't explain properly or that's still unclear, you are more than welcome to tell me. Okay, so in video number 3, in this section here, I'm not sure what you meant over there, and then I can do another video for you. That's why I kept these videos as little separate snippets, so you can tell me in this video over there, I don't know what you mean, or, you know, so on. So yeah, just let me know if you have any questions.